Hey everyone, this is Zach. So today I want to go over how to cancel a listing agreement. So this applies to both real estate agents and homeowners. So if you're either party, watching this video will help you out in knowing how to cancel a listing agreement. It's just one of those unfortunate things. It does happen. If you're a real estate agent, you're going to experience this. It's either the sellers, maybe they're uneasy with the current market, maybe they changed their mind, or maybe you haven't done the best job and they want to fire you. So this is how to actually cancel a listing agreement. And so first things first, I want to get the perspective of the attorney that works with the Tennessee Association of Realtors. So terminating a listing contract. If my seller sends me a written note stating they want to cancel their listing immediately and it's signed and dated, do I need to ask them to sign the state form to cancel? The listing agreement is a contract for mutual benefit and requires the signature of both parties to be terminated. So that means the brokerage, either the managing broker, the agent, and the homeowners themselves. Both parties need to sign to mutually terminate the listing agreement. So how do you do that? Well, if you have your exclusive right to sell listing agreement, you could use the Tennessee Association Realtor form, Listing Buyer Representation Mutual Release Agreement, form RF 151. However, there's a big red flag with the Tennessee Association Realtor forms that I want to cover. So if you're a homeowner or you're a real estate agent, keep watching to the end because there's a big pitfall with signing listing agreements that I want you to avoid. So this is how you officially terminate. You would reference the client, the property, the date that everybody signed the listing agreement. You would check that you're canceling the listing agreement, not a buyer rep, you're canceling a listing agreement. So that's here. Now, this section right here is in essence a carryover clause. So basically 99% of sellers, when they cancel, it's under good faith. They truly change their mind. They don't want to sell anymore. This protects in case the 1% situations where maybe you ran an open house, maybe somehow the buyer contacted the seller directly and said, hey, if you fire your agent, maybe you can give me a deal on the list price and also you save from paying an agent. So that's what this prevents against. So it says if you've introduced any of those people and after 90 days afterwards, once we sign this, that you would still pay me X. You can change this to whatever, 180 days, 30 days, 2 weeks, whatever. Every term is fully negotiable. So you put that here, that's your carryover protection period. And then you put how much, if any of these previous people that you're responsible for introducing to the property offer on it, go under contract, how much you would make. That goes here. Here's the big thing, and this is why you should keep watching to the end, but the client customer agrees to pay a cancellation fee of blank. Now, this does have to be, again, mutual agreement. This is a mutual release. Everybody has to mutually agree on a cancellation fee because the listing agreement set by TAR does not do a good job to address this. Because if you go here to line, this is line 81, should the broker consent to release the listing prior to the expiration of the term of this agreement, seller agrees to pay all costs incurred by the broker to market the property or other amount agreed upon by the parties as a cancellation fee. Now, what are marketing costs? It is very subjective. I think the Tennessee Association of Realtors needs to put a blank here to say, if this is terminated, then seller agrees to pay this as a cancellation fee. Don't talk about marketing expenses because what is that? Photos are pretty easy to justify. What about a 3D tour? What about drone? What about this is the agent's only listing and they had to pay an extra month with the MLS in order to keep this active? What about Facebook ads, Google ads? What about their time invested to maybe door knock the neighborhood and tell people that it's for sale, or the time invested to get the property active? So there's a lot of subjectivity here with this, and this is why I don't like this. And if a mutual agreement cannot be made, it also says the seller agrees to pay all reasonable attorney fees together with any court costs and expenses which real estate firm incurs in enforcing any of the seller's obligations to pay compensation under this listing agreement. So that's why I think this needs to be changed to a blank. That way, up front, everybody can agree to a cancellation fee. Now, to come up with a solution temporarily until it's addressed, maybe in your special steps as a real estate agent or a homeowner, you request this, is to put wording similar to the above. Should the seller request to terminate this listing agreement and the brokerage complies, the seller agrees to pay the listing agent brokerage a cancellation fee of blank upon signing of a mutual release agreement. That way, we are avoiding any sort of conflict down the road. We're getting ahead of it, and we both parties ahead of time are saying, hey, if we both terminate this, here's how much is a cancellation fee. We don't leave it up to subjective interpretation because that's what leads to issues. That's what leads to legal proceedings. So we just want to be fully transparent up front. So consider adding this to your special steps. But that at the end of the day, to terminate, it needs to be, according to the attorney, the listing agreement is a contract for mutual benefit and requires the signature of both parties to be terminated. So you would use the listing buyer representation mutual release agreement, check here, put a cancellation fee, if any. I'm always under the interpretation, and my work ethic is putting a 0 here, because at the end of the day, brand and reputation is everything in this industry. I don't want to be known as the agent that either charges clients for doing, if I didn't do my job, fire me for free. I'm not going to hold you to if I'm out a couple $100 for photos. Now, everybody can run their business differently. That's what I do, because also I don't want to be known as the agent that sues clients. It's in every right to potentially do that if you guys can't come up to an agreement. But I want to act under good faith. If I didn't do my job or you truly change your mind, maybe I don't charge you anything. So consider that as real estate agents. The last part of this will be, at least in the RealTracs MLS. Every MLS is a little bit different, but in the RealTracs MLS, you will have to also cancel and withdraw it. So you would go to My Listings Listing Management. Now in RealTracs, it requires the broker to actually do it. And they would go under here, My Listing Listing Management. They would find your property listed. They would click the 3 little buttons and they would click Change Status. And then they would change it to Canceled. So that is how it would actually remove it online. So it doesn't let the actual affiliate broker do it themselves. The broker has to remove it from the MLS system. So check with your MLS system and make sure that you've actually removed it. But I would wait to do this until you have this in writing. Because again, another pitfall, you don't want over the phone the seller say, hey, we just changed our mind, we want it off the market. You have your broker remove it, and then a couple hours later they call and say, wait a minute, we didn't sign anything, we didn't actually want it removed, we changed our mind. So always get everything in writing. Any instructions from the client, it's best to get it in writing. So hopefully this helps you out of knowing how to actually cancel a listing agreement. Again, it's just one of those unfortunate things. It does happen to all of us. It's happened to me, but now you know how to best do it. So if you have any questions, comment below. I'll also add the link to Zach Taylor Real Estate down below. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And until next time, I'll see you then.